Previously on Anything Goes.
But the only news that is fit to be told today is the pregnancy of Kate Middleton.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I was saying to you off the air or whatever, because she's 30, right? Or she's 29?
Yes.
Yeah, so I feel like that's the age when like the chicks got to pop the babies out. Because I just had my birthday on Friday. I turned 34.
Very nice.
Right, I did. But like a lot of my girlfriends are like, oh my God, if you don't have a baby by the time you're 35, like you're going to have a downy. And I don't know what that is disturbing on so many respects because that freaks me out.
When you said that downy is just a cutesy, cuddly way of saying Down syndrome, then...
They're saying you're going to have like messed up babies if you have babies after 35.
I know, which is...
Or maybe I'm going to have a fabric softener.
Or if you wanted a Down syndrome baby, then...
They were getting cute.
Well, they don't age well. But they live long lives, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they just live but they don't age mentally, and that's what's cute about them, I suppose.
Neither do you, Dave.
But, well, no, I don't either, but that's my choice. But which I always disagree with when, what's-her-face, Sarah Palin said that these mentally challenged children or children with special needs are gifts from God. She used to always say that, but I always thought, if that's true, then how come nobody ever wants one? Nobody ever, if it's a gift from God, how come nobody ever wants one? You never hear anyone say, I don't care if it's a boy or a girl, just as long as it's retarded, or just as long as it has Down syndrome. I've never heard that.
And now, let's get to a new exciting show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for some laughs? Are you?
Smoother than a stripper's area. This is Anything Goes with Darren Frost.
How the fuck am I funny?
Dave Martin.
What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
And Kathleen McGee.
And I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you!
Can you dig it?
I'm sure it would. Well, if it starts to suck, I'll Ethernet in.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so how are you?
I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I'm a little drunk.
Okay. All right.
I've been having fun in my backyard the afternoon. We're gonna have a good time on this podcast.
Okay.
Is that a mason jar? Is that a mason jar or an urn?
It's a golden mason jar.
Oh, okay. All right.
And what are you celebrating? Just Monday?
Just life in general.
Right.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm celebrating Brazilian bum cream.
And what is that?
It's skin firming lotion.
For your arsehole?
No, for your cellulite, like your legs and your butt.
Oh,
okay. Why did they put bum in the...
Yeah.
Because it's for your bum, Dave. Jesus Christ.
No, yeah, but I just asked for your I just asked if it was for your arsehole, and you said no.
Not for your... Well, it's not for your asshole.
Right. But for your whole ass.
It's for your bum cheeks.
Oh, okay. All right.
I thought it was like a cream for a prolapsed asshole, right? You just rub some cream in and it's back to normal.
I don't think that's how... Is that how prolapsed assholes work? We don't...
I've never had a prolapsed asshole. I don't know.
No,
we'll have to get someone to come on who has, and we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll
ask Jason Rouse to get on here.
Does he have one? Or
you think Jason Rouse has never had a prolapsed asshole? You're crazy.
Okay. All right.
Well, I'm not.
Of course he has. I got my lips done.
And what does that mean? What did you have done?
Filler.
Oh, okay. And have you done that before?
No, this is my first time. We're going to talk to Michelle today. Michelle's the queen of it. But I, for the first time in my life, got filler in my lips. Right. I think it looks good. I
mean, I can't tell a difference, but we're on a computer, right? Like, it's the worst way to see a difference.
Well,
I'm sure in person.
Can I tell you, like, if I didn't have the filler, it would just end here. But
oh
now
my God. You should put a paper bag over your head if that was the case. How dare you even walk
as a woman, if you have small lips, you're less of a woman.
I don't. How is that true?
It's a joke.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it's a joke, but where did the full lips come from? Is that the?
Men really want cock-sucking lips. That's what they're saying. Cock-sucking
lips. Why can't we just get bigger lips around the head of our penis? Like, why can't we get injected there So it doesn't matter about the size.
My whole thing with cock-sucking lips, though, has been like, well, aren't all lips cock-sucking lips? If they
I would
suck
agree with
cock?
that, yeah.
Yes.
If you try hard enough.
It's not for you and Darren. It's not for you two. It's for other women to be jealous of me.
Oh, she's got better cock-sucking lips.
Yeah.
I want to be her. I want to be her.
Everything, not you. Everything women do, none of it is for men.
Right.
Every time I get my nails done, I do it because I want a girl on the street to be like, oh my God, your nails are amazing. One time I was getting my nails done and a girl was getting hers done and she looked at hers and she looked at mine. She's like, hers are better, mine. And I was like, I just won the lady lottery.
I know that one time I was being blown and I said, if her lips were just a little fuller, it would be so much better.
You've never been blown.
Better. So much better.
He must have been blown once or twice.
Maybe a few times.
But that is true. That it's always women versus women. Men don't really they barely recognize like a haircut, and that's why we're always sort of asked, "Do you notice anything about me?" And then we're always like, "Oh shit, man."
No, it's all about ladies noticing ladies, and then we'll post a black and white selfie and then pretend that we're doing something. Did you see that whole movement, the black and white selfie? I'm promoting, I support women. I'm like, well, and then you learn what it really was about, and it was about like Turkish women that have gone missing because they've been abused, and then all these like North American women are like, I support my friend that does a soap business.
Right. Well, the irony in supporting women by posting a selfie is sort of gets lost on me as well. So
any of these challenges are always stupid. But like, instead of just posting a black and white selfie of yourself, just support other women.
Right.
My favorite phase was the black and white picture of the model shirtless holding the baby. That was my favorite phase of photos.
Who was that?
Remember in the 80s, in the 90s, every girl up on her wall would have like that fucking black and white shot of the topless model, super skinny, holding a baby, looking into the baby's eyes, like, oh, look at the love. It's like...
Do you remember when Demi Moore posted on the cover of Vanity Fair, like, as a pregnant woman, and she was and it was scandalous.
Yeah.
Scandalous.
Back then, yeah.
It was. I remember going to the Edmonton Public Library so that I could look at Demi Moore on the Vanity Fair.
Well, couldn't you just look around the Edmonton Public Library and see other pregnant women?
No.
I mean, we're in Edmonton. Love a good cream pie, so there's a lot of pregnant ladies here.
There's a lot of single women. It's a lot of single mothers in Edmonton. I remember that. I remember that a lot.
Darren, don't act like Edmonton is the only town that has single mothers.
I'm not saying it is. No. For Brantford. In Brantford, you're a grandmother at 28. So trust me, I know it's bad.
Yeah.
But I noticed it more in Edmonton anywhere else because obviously you spend a lot of time in that mall and you see them, and you talk to them and you find out their story,
There's always a brand new single mom whenever I leave town.
Oh, David. Gross.
That doesn't
David,
happen.
have you ever gotten a girl pregnant in your life?
Pardon me?
Have you ever gotten a girl pregnant in your life?
Well, I don't know how deep we want to dive into this.
Let's dive in.
Okay.
Well, I remember someone in particular telling me that they didn't want to have my baby.
Okay, all right.
Okay, yeah, we'll tell this. I didn't know if I could tell a story. Dave and I dated for 2 months, and at one point I was like worried.
Right.
And then I was upset, so I went over to his house, and I was in tears, and I literally said, I can't have your baby.
Yes.
Right.
And for some reason, it really offended him.
No, I didn't. Well, no.
You were offended. You were offended. You were like, what?
Well, I mean, no, that kind of throws someone off a little bit. Not like I wanted a baby either. But just to hear someone blatantly say, I don't want yours.
Yeah,
I mean,
someone to tell you the truth and be like, you should never procreate.
I think I would be a pretty good dad if I happened to, and I've had 2 other scares. So
I think if a baby, if you guys had a baby and it was a girl and it got Dave Martin's lips, you would definitely have to get that baby filler when they turned 18.
Yeah, Dave has non-existent lips.
Yeah.
Oh, and not like somebody wants their daughter to have cock-sucking lips. It's not like,
No.
listen,
I
I just
would.
want you to, I want
Yes.
you to go to a good school.
Yes.
I want you to
Listen,
be a
Dave.
nice man.
We're living in a new world. Have you
Right.
heard the song WAP?
I heard Ben Shapiro break down the song WAP.
But have you actually listened to the song and not listened to a man talk about the song?
No, I haven't.
No.
Okay. So you've not heard it either, Darren?
No.
But that's not in my wheelhouse either. I'm not
It
going
doesn't matter if it's in your wheelhouse. You're listening to a man tell you what the song is about. That's fucking hilarious.
Well, no, he didn't tell me what the song was about. He just
read the lyrics.
Yeah.
He read the lyrics. That's all he
Well,
did.
I'm so glad that a white male comedian is Ben Shapiro a white male comedian?
No, he's like
Sure.
a
Yes.
right-wing pundit. He's not a comedian.
He's not a comic. No.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that a white male could break down the lyrics of Wet Ass Pussy for you. Wet Ass Pussy is not for them. Wet Ass Pussy is for women to be like, let's enjoy our genitalia for once. The whole thing is like, listen, we have been sexualized since we were young girls. Since we were young. And finally, women are talking about their sexuality and talking about you have to make me come and all this other stuff. And it's horrifying some men, not all men, but it's horrifying, especially on the right. They're really horrified by wet ass pussy. Even some women on the right are like, wet ass pussy. Like they're saying they're terrible role models. I'm like, yeah, I would never want, if I had a child, I would never want your dry ass pussy to be a role model for my child. I would love my child to be like comfortable with her sexuality, comfortable with her genitalia. And you know what? With things like OnlyFans, women are finally taking control of men's desires, which is like we're told our entire life, you have to make men happy. You have to make men be attracted to you sexually. So now women are finally doing that, and we're posting stuff. And then there are people that are upset by it. And it's just like, well, I'm just finally cashing in on you sexualizing me. I have an OnlyFans. I have 3 fans. I've made about $200 American.
Okay, no. How deep or graphic do your OnlyFans? What do they get to see?
Well, I've gotten really good at the boomerang boob.
Okay.
Okay,
Where
don't
you
show it
just,
for
like-
free. Don't show it for free. It's for
No,
the
never. It's
Yeah.
$50 a month to subscribe to my OnlyFans. And one guy was like, "Oh, can't you give something to the poor guys?" I'm like, "No,
right.
no,
Well,
I can't give something to the poor guys."
I mean, I've never understood the whole webcam girls and guys.
That's a lie, Dave.
No, I pay for it.
Dave, you're subscribed to so many webcam girls.
No, that's not true. A, I don't have that money to throw around, and B, once I'm done, I fucking switch over to something else to watch, and I'm not gonna stick around and talk to my webcam girlfriend.
Well,
But
they don't want to talk to you either.
Well, there we go. We're on the same page.
You know
then.
that a webcam girl is like a waitress? Like, she's just there to make you feel good about yourself and make tips?
Right.
Well, yeah, but she's not about to bring me chicken wings or ask me if I want another beer.
But that's the one I would sign up for.
Right, exactly.
The waitress webcam girl?
Yeah.
Yes, who
Well,
brings chicken
so-
wings and yeah.
So maybe I'm going to start a webcam where I just, like, if you pay me enough, I'll order pizza to your house,
Yes.
and you can watch me masturbate.
Yeah, 30 minutes are free. 30 minutes are free if you don't come. That's what you got.
30 minutes are free.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm going to talk to a lot of men that are on antidepressants.
No, yeah, sometimes you just want to come and move on.
I was talking to one of our guests earlier, and she's coming on, Michelle, and
Yeah.
she said, I might be wearing sunglasses because I had a procedure. And I said, well, I'll probably be a little drunk. I said,
Because you had a procedure, yeah.
I had a procedure, a Mason nerve procedure.
Yeah.
And then she's like, are you going to be okay? And I'm like, I'm a professional.
I don't understand why porn stars have OnlyFans site. Like, sort of like that to me is ridiculous because
No.
Is it because do guys really are all guys like being white knights and they think that they're going to somehow hook up with these
No,
porn stars?
it's because these female porn stars can now get paid directly.
Right.
Although I will say this about OnlyFans, they take a gigantic cut.
Right.
They take a big percentage. Like, so at first I was like it was $15 to subscribe, and then I'm like, no, if I'm gonna like show my boobs, I'm not letting some dude be like $15. It's gonna be $50. So $50 to subscribe for a month, and $50 to subscribe for a month, and they take like $10 per subscription. I don't know what the math on that is, but it's a big chunk. It's
That's
bigger
20%.
than what Yuck Yucks takes.
That's 20%.
That's bigger than what Yuck Yucks takes.
But I think a lot of porn actresses do it because, like you said, it cuts out the middleman. They get the money direct. And let's be honest, when was the last time you paid for a porn?
Well,
so a lot of people. Well,
that's another thing about OnlyFans. Yes.
Right. I can now financially pay the woman that I liked, watching whatever video she did. Whereas on Pornhub, you're not paying. You're watching it mostly for free. And now
Patreon
you can,
for pussy. It's Patreon for pussy.
I get it. If I was single and I had money to throw around, I'd have no problem doing that.
Well, I can throw it around other places, but I just don't see what more you're going to see on OnlyFans that you don't see on regular.
You're not. Dave, you're going to see regular girls. Like, you're not going to see Kathleen McGee's titties everywhere. You might see cleavage, but you're not going to see nipple. But on OnlyFans, you might see nipple.
Yes.
You will see nipple. If you subscribe. Kathleen_McGee.
I'm not going to subscribe to your OnlyFans. That would be...
I'm gonna create
I'm not going to have your child.
I knew that 10 years ago when you sat on the edge of my bed and told me. So
I cried.
I did not cry.
I cried.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes, you cried.
Yeah, I cried.
Of that demon seed that was probably not even brewing inside of you. So
never brewed.
Yeah.
Never brewed.
No, actually, I had one scare, and the girl sent me a photograph of the miscarriage too. So
what?
Yeah. Someone was.
Wow, that's some anger.
What?
Like, was it in a jar or like?
No, I didn't get the chance to ask a lot of questions because I got blocked on Facebook about it. But there was it looked like there was like a hospital bed, and then there was.
David, who are you dating?
This was a long time ago.
I hope so.
Pre-Kathleen or post-Kathleen?
Post.
It was probably post-Kathleen. I'm not happy about it. And
yeah, it was post.
It's not one of my dating highlights. But trust me, it's.
I have the picture tattooed on my back.
It looks like
of Dave's miscarriage.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like strawberry jam sort of pasted across of a hospital curtain.
There are going to be upset women about this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I think that a woman that can make a decision that is positive for the world. Like, I had a friend that was dating a bartender, and she got accidentally pregnant with him, and she was in her 30s, and she got pregnant with this guy's baby, and she had an abortion.
Right.
And she said the reason she had the abortion was because she did not want this guy had for his furniture, patio furniture indoors.
Yeah.
White chairs indoors. He was a disaster. He was a mess. She would be attached to this child would be attached to this person for the rest of their life.
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
And I know some people might be horrified by that she was in her 30s and she had an abortion, but it's like, no, she just saved another human being the anguish of having a deadbeat, horrifying father.
Right. Well, what are the chances of this guy getting his shit together once he became a dad and
I don't think high.
Wonderful man.
Probably not high. They all say that. They're always like, no, I'm going to get it together. And then you're like, no, you didn't.
No, well, I mean, sometimes I think it would be the right thing to do to be less like,
Look at Dave. Dave has got it together. He doesn't have plastic furniture. He's got a cool pad.
Brick wall in his apartment. Dave has it together.
He's got it together.
That's all you're looking for? My
wall.
qualities are long walks on the beach, a man with a brick wall in his apartment, doesn't follow doctor's orders, and is not responsible around petty cash.
Now you'll have so many OnlyFans that will have your baby, Dave. It'll be crazy.
You could start an OnlyFans. A lot of men are on OnlyFans.
And what do the men offer?
Their dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to get a lot of money. I'm going to get a lot of emails telling me to get that skin tag removed.
I mean, if you're a dude and you have a big dick, you'll probably want to be on there. But if you just have an average dick, they'll be like, I can see that for free.
What if I created an Only, but every picture is through a fisheye lens? Does that matter?
Like it's a fisheye lens one that magnifies it?
Yeah, it kind of warps it, makes it much bigger than it is,
Sure, why not? Darren, I guarantee you have female fans that want to see your dick.
Yes, good.
The thing about
My wife is going to watch this episode, so keep talking.
But
Brandy let him show his dick off and cash in with his family.
Yes.
And Brandy, you don't give a shit. If
Yeah.
Brandy wouldn't care if you showed your dick and made a couple $100, she wouldn't care.
Well, okay, yeah, but if you go to the Pornhub sites and you type in like your favorite porn star and then type OnlyFans off after it, there's a whole bunch of videos that'll pop up. So people take those OnlyFans videos and they repost them to other Pornhub sites. So
I think that those are the people that own them repost them because you can't screenshot. Apparently, I don't know. I could be lying. I could be.
Yeah, but if I subscribe to a certain person and I had their videos, and then I just decided, you know what, I'm going to just give these videos away for free now that I bought them or I purchased into them.
You can't download someone's videos.
Okay, well, I don't know. How
that person probably put her own OnlyFans on Pornhub to get more OnlyFans.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Ada Adams.
It's like Snapchat. So when Snapchat was first a thing, before it became all puppy dog filters and everything, it was a way to trade nudes without being worried that someone was going to, or because when it was first a thing, if someone screenshotted, I think maybe it still is, if someone screenshotted your picture, it would tell you that person screenshotted your picture.
Right.
You couldn't get the screenshot back or anything, but like it would tell you like, oh, this person took a picture.
Is doing this, so be careful. Yeah. Careful what you show him or you give him or them. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I think OnlyFans, as far as I'm aware, you cannot download, you can't see stuff without subscribing, and even when you subscribe, if you do a screenshot, you get a blank screen. As far as I know.
Yeah, ask Crystalia how that turned out.
Yeah.
Crystalia is a pedophile.
Oh, okay. By definition,
Crystalia is a pedophile.
Well, okay, yeah, by definition is, but I also don't think that every 18-year-old is an adult either. So.
Well, no,
in the eyes of the law.
But in the eyes of the law, so if you're getting topless pictures from a 15-year-old, you're a pedophile.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you're not incorrect. I'm just saying that it's.
Dave's just got to scrub his history, is what he's saying.
every morning and every night. Just
Internet history wipe.
Yeah, clean.
Yeah, you have to be careful nowadays, is all I'm saying. Yeah, not even careful. You just have to be decent. That's the thing.
What's funny, you brought up something about the sexualization of women, right? And I was actually talking to my wife, Brandy, just yesterday about this, and that depending on what your kink is or what you like, you could probably trace it back to what was sexualized to you as a child.
That's
so,
correct.
for example, you know, I like Asian women. I find them very attractive. I've never dated one. I never dated one, but they were always portrayed sexually from a very young age in all movies and things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm not attracted to black women, but for the most part, up until maybe 5 years ago, black women generally weren't sexualized in movies. Now in videos they are. So, you know, a younger generation may find them much more attractive than I do. But
also the thing about black women, and I could be wrong, is that they, like look at Cardi B, look at Megan Thee Stallion, they're doing it themselves. They're taking control. But even before Lil' Kim,
but I'm talking when I was younger. When I was like in my late teens, early 20s, when you really kind of come into your sexuality.
Well, what about Pam Grier?
The Pam Grier was the 70s. That was way before me. That was way before me. I'm not saying all black. I find a lot of black women attractive and sexy, but I'm saying I could definitely, in movies and media, they weren't sexualized like other types. But for women, black men in videos have been sexualized much more. So therefore, like I talked to Brandy and she's like, yeah, my whole childhood and teen years were watching videos where black men were sexualized. So she finds them more sexy. And I just find that a very interesting, I don't know if it's a proven fact or not.
Well, also like, if you were a woman that was not Kate Moss, if you were a woman that had some sort of weight on you.
Right.
And to be honest, when I moved to Toronto, I lived in Edmonton, and there was not a very large black community when I was growing up. It was all rich. It was all white dudes that were looking for a skinny this and that, and I wasn't attractive for any of those men. And then I moved to Toronto, and I went on some dates with black men, and they made me feel good about myself because black men in general just love women. It's not even that they love bigger women. It's just they love curves and they love what a woman looks like.
Right.
And white men have been told for years you need to be attracted to a super thin, super this and that.
Yes.
But I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but
I think you're right. I think you're right. I don't think black men love bigger women or women that are a plus size.
Women.
I just think they know what they like. I think they know what they like, and they're not embarrassed to admit what they like.
And also, they have been raised to respect women because if you
watch out, Kathleen, if you're going to say because they've been raised in mostly single-mothered households, is that where you're?
No, they were raised by black women who actually saw the value of being a woman. It's nothing about being a single mother. It's about that a lot of black women, like when I went to high school, I went from an all-white high school to a high school that had a few black people in it, and I hung out with the black girls because I found that they were way more confident and way more accepting of whatever they were. They weren't all my white friends were throwing up in the bathroom and worried about how they looked.
So hot.
And all these black girls were like, no, I look fucking good the way I am. And I think that has now changed. Like, that is what's happened. But that, I will say that black women are the world's greatest people because everyone takes culture from black women. Drag queens, yes, queen. That does not come from drag queens. That comes from black women.
Right.
And so it's all come from that culture. And those are the women that have actually felt comfortable in their skin their entire life. I can't speak for them, but they've at least projected this feeling that they're confident and they feel beautiful and who cares if my ass is big and I'm going to celebrate myself. And it's been like that for a very long time. And now that's cool. And now everyone is celebrating it. But I think the black women were the first people to actually be comfortable with their skin and be comfortable who they are, and that's why I feel.
Well, probably because they weren't. Probably because they felt they had to sort of take charge of their sexuality more and take charge of how they presented themselves because
maybe
they
were just confident.
Because they were not represented in mainstream media as much as white women were, and then we can get into the whole thing about the majority of the men who dress white women in the fashion industry are gay men. So it comes down, it's the old thing of just like that. A lot of guys have been sort of trained over the years because we see these magazine covers of thin women that are being dressed by gay men. And if it was up to the gay men, they would rather be dressing young boys.
Yeah.
So they're almost drawn towards a boy's figure to put their clothing on. I've never dated. I've never been sort of attracted to that sort of like rail thin physique in my life. I've always been more of a full figured sort of gal loving guy, and I've never dated a black.
But Dave, if you were hanging out with your friends in the early '90s or in the mid '90s, and you told them you liked a bigger girl, they'd make fun of you.
Oh yes,
yes. No, that is true, and that's I mean, but I was never vocal about women that I like very much because I know it would be put down. But also, I remember Jennifer Lopez's ass used to be like the punchline of a joke, and now it's the ass that every woman wants. You know, I mean, women who get butt implants to rather than they could be doing a bunch of crunches probably as well, but or squats and get that ass too, But I mean, yeah, I've never dated a black woman, but I do have, and I don't know if that's because I have a fear of being yelled at by black women, but oh my God,
they're assertive and they will not sugarcoat shit for you. And Dave, you need a lady to sugarcoat shit for you.
Yeah.
You do. No, you need a woman to tell you what you want to hear. You don't want a woman to tell you.
Every guy wants a woman to tell them what they want.
Not every guy.
Yeah, pretty well every guy.
What
if they say that they don't, then they're kind of lying to get something else.
I would disagree with you on that.
Oh, Kathleen? Why would you say that about? Why would you disagree with Kathleen on that?
I am not disagreeing on Kathleen. I'm disagreeing with what you just said.
Okay, sure. I can handle that.
Hi, it's me, Tom Papa from the Marriage Ref. You're listening to Anything Goes on XM Radio. It's hilarious.
Okay.
How you guys doing?
We're good. We're just we're talking. Kathleen is taking control here. She's a little intoxicated, but taking control. And yeah,
but I am intoxicated.
Yeah.
I just took 3 Tylenol 2s, so that's the level of
So
waste.
extra strength
What a
Tylenol.
weird level Tylenol to take.
I know, but that's the only ones they would give me at the hospital were Tylenol 2s, which I find are such bullshit.
Those are bullshit. Tylenol 3s are the one you want. 2s are nothing.
Isn't Tylenol 2 just extra strength Tylenol?
No,
I
they
think,
have a bit of codeine in them, but not as much as you'd like.
It's like a children's Tylenol 3.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Well, Dave is a child, so.
Well, and that's why I took 3. So.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever taken Percocet?
Yes.
Yes.
I have not.
You have not.
No.
I had a boyfriend that was working on the oil rigs and he got injured. Long story short, he was on Percocet and I had a headache one day. He's like, take one of these. I slept for 27 hours.
Yeah, that sounds like literally a tale as old as time. I had a boyfriend who worked on an oil rig.
And he had drugs.
yeah.
And he had drugs.
I took some, and it was great.
Yeah. Oh no, I remember there was a girl I was going out with, and she had a brother that got injured at work, and then of course and he got a bunch of oxycontins, and then he didn't want to take any of them because he didn't want to get addicted.
Yeah, yeah.
And, so then my girlfriend at the time and I stole them, and so man, I just found taking one of those, and then you'd have a glass of red wine, and you'd sit on the couch, and it was like you were on like a raft floating down the river.
Yeah.
Because you took heroin, Dave.
Yes, exactly. and mixed it with wine.
Yeah.
And Toronto is like Vancouver, New Zealand. Toronto is like Vancouver. You meet somebody and you start dating, and like 2 months later you move in because you need a relationship, but you also need a roommate.
Yeah.
No, when I dated my boyfriend, we started dating in. When did we start dating? In August, and we moved in March together.
Yeah.
Because you needed a roommate to pay for your rent.
Also, too, sometimes if you're over at someone's house for like 4 nights a week, sometimes you just get to a point where you're like, maybe we should just move in together. But then also that can destroy a relationship too. Nick, have you thought about throwing a chair off your balcony to get any more followers on Twitter and Instagram?
I haven't, but I really, really like your cryptic end to that sort of addition. Just like, also, you can destroy a relationship too.
Yeah, that's like the Calgary Yuck condo went from being on the 2nd floor to the 16th floor, and I said, guys, you gotta be careful. 2nd floor, okay, but you're housing comedians. 16th floor, scary.
Yeah, you get one bad late show, and then you're just like, and where am I going next? Oh, that dude?
Yeah, well, thank God the Calgary Yuck Yucks isn't the Hamilton Yuck Yucks. It's a fun club, and everybody has a good time there.
Right.
And they treat you very well.
You never leave the Calgary Yuck Yucks and be like, I want to kill myself, because you always have a good time.
Yeah.
No.
I've had sex on that balcony.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a chalk outline of where it happened? And then people can come over and reenact the photo. Are there handprints on the walls?
No, it's on the balcony, David.
Who was the middle? Who was the middle that weekend?
That was actually the weekend that I was at Stampede with Ari Shafir and Bert Kreischer and Matt Edgar, and they were coming in the next day. And then I met a guy on Tinder. Anyway.
Right. I think it's funny how there was
boy
like
comics are celebrated when boy comics like hook up with multiple ladies. They're like, what a hero. But Kathleen has sex on one comedy condo balcony.
No. I think it was the randomness of it. But what I also find funny is like any hesitancy of like, oh, you fucked on that balcony, and then it's like, oh wait, the beds have been fucking destroyed by every comic that exists.
That's
so.
Like, every time I stay at the Calgary condo and I sleep in a bed, I'm like, how much sex has happened?
Hey, girl.
I feel like the Calgary condo is the filthiest because of what Nick said. It's not the Hamilton Yuck Yucks. You always do well at Calgary.
Right.
I had a threesome with 2 dudes in the they're drunk, but in the Yuck Yucks headliner room.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. I don't know.
Okay.
Let's get that out.
But was it 2 guys or 2 girls? It was 2 girls. 2 guys. Okay,
Yeah.
good for you. Good,
Calgary,
good.
There's cowboys there.
Yeah.
They like to do that in the alleys, but I did it in the privacy of a comedy condo.
Right.
There's a bathroom right there, en suite.
Yeah.
We're good.
And when you were done, did Marito come in and you could high five him, or did he?
Good Lord, no.
Way to go, Kathleen. You know.
No, I would not like to go over to that condo with one of those CSI black lights.
No.
It would be
Yeah.
it would be like a Jackson Pollock painting there. It would not be pretty.
Well, that's the thing with every comedy condo, right? Like every comedy condo is a terrible idea, but we all appreciate like the kitchenette.
Yeah, I always found those black lights, depending on when they were at a strip club too, that was always dangerous.
Yeah, yeah.
Depending on how good the strip club was, the more you would have to worry about the leftovers that might be on your pants on the way out.
Steve, when we were in London, we went to the Beef Baron.
Oh yes.
And I remember I was so drunk, I was passing out on a couch. I was like passing out, and then this bouncer comes over and he's like, "You can't sleep in here." And I looked at him, I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I've always wanted to pass out in beef curtains." So the name was. That bar, and that I remember that was the only time I ever did London. It was once where you stayed at that travel lodge.
Yeah. I was just gonna say.
Having smoke breaks.
I think I did that. I think I did the club maybe twice where you stayed at the Econo Lodge, but the first time I did it, it was me and Aaron Berg, and we literally were driving up, and they're like, "You can get gas money or 2 nights of hotel, like you can or have the hotel for 1 night and get gas money." And we were just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And then we slept in a room together. And we went to the Beef Baron that night because we were like, fuck, why would we go back to the Econo Lodge? And then we were just laying in bed just being like, what is going on? Like, and at that point in time, I was a bit newer to it. And Aaron was right at the right level to be like, this isn't okay anymore. Like, there was like enough of that being like, yeah, what are we doing here? Like, we're sleeping in beds together like as adults.
Showbiz.
I feel like strippers are sometimes treated better than comedians.
Oh, well.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
Well, in some situations, yeah.
Depending on your level, like in Alberta, they have the Looney and Toonie game. So if you're not a headliner, you have to pick up your own Loonies and Toonies with your magnet leash. But if you're a headliner, the bouncer will sweep up your Loonies and Toonies for you.
What if you just put
all of that needs to stop, probably. Everything you just said needs to be a thing that gets definitely figured out.
Why though? Nick, why though? Like, these girls are making money. Why does that need to stop?
I mean, the demeaning aspect of having to pick up your own Loonies and people throwing Loonies and Toonies at them, and then they have to pick up their own unless they
I always say, I love it. People from Ontario are always like, oh, that's so demeaning. But I was in Niagara Falls, and I watched a woman, stripper, squat over a man's face and picked a $5 bill out of his mouth like it was a claw machine with her vagina. And then she was like,
well, that's just an immense talent.
Yeah, that's not demeaning.
No,
that's not demeaning.
That's not. One is demeaning and one is immense talent.
Yes.
If I was a woman,
the difference is that the skill set that goes into doing what she did in the second one is impressive. The other one is like, do you ever try to pick a coin up off the floor and like do it in a hurry?
It's not like they just get coins. It's not like they just get coins thrown at them. They have to have a carnival game where they have posters. So posters, they'll cone it up and put it on their vagina, and then you throw it in and you get the poster. Or you get a laminated keychain where you lick it and stick it, and then they like knock it off. It's not like they're just.
No, they found clever ways to throw at them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And nobody's found like a magnet that they could put up inside them and then just sort of slide across the floor and then just pick them all up magnetically.
I like when people say that what strippers do is demeaning, because I feel like what they do is like they're making money the way they want to make money. I don't think
No. I believe they should be paid very well. I think that the rules for like some of them having to pick up their coins and the other ones not I think they could get rid of that.
Headliners versus openers.
Yeah.
Right. To me, it's like the whole idea.
You got to pick up your own pussy change.
The whole idea of they can heat them up and whip them at the girls.
No, that's horrifying. That's not cool.
That can't happen when you use pills.
Also, to be honest with you, Darren, that happens, but those
I know it does.
Get removed immediately.
I know. I've been in strip clubs in Alberta back in the day when that shit happened, and I'm not saying I'm against women stripping and all that, make money. I've had my stripping days a long time ago, but I never went back. I used to go to strip clubs, but I never went back to an Alberta strip club after I saw that once. I was just like, I'm not here enough. I just don't need it.
Yeah.
Like, strip clubs were one of the things that just opened in Toronto.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they just opened in Toronto. Now we're in phase 3. Now, I personally haven't been to a strip club.
Which is pussy. Just so we all understand, phase 3 is pussy. Go ahead.
Well, I don't get it. So actually, I probably haven't been to a strip club in maybe about 10 years or so, but there's a part of me that said, like, once you're told that you're not allowed to do something,
I'm hearing somebody justify something.
It makes me want to go and do it.
Yeah.
So I haven't been yet, but I'm also curious if the COVID mask is going to be the third item that comes off or the second item that comes off, because it's usually one item of clothing.
Keep it on.
Well, yeah.
Or do you have to? Do guys have to wear 2 masks? One over their face and one over their cock area in case that lap dance gets too close.
There you go.
There's no touching. If you're going to respect the ladies.
Yeah, if you are going to.
Yeah.
But in Vancouver, when COVID was happening, 2 of the places that were reported as having COVID cases were Brandy's Show Lounge and Number 5 Orange, both iconic Vancouver strip clubs.
Okay.
Well, all right, so we only have about...
Strip clubs are open in Alberta, but they're open in Ontario?
Yeah, I think
so.
They just opened this past weekend.
They're not open in Alberta.
Oh, that's weird. Well,
because the loonies and the toonies. It's the loonies. They have to keep cleaning all the loonies and toonies. So
I love how Ontario pretends like they're better, but literally I saw a woman
pretend
grab a $5 bill out of a man's mouth with her vagina.
That's talent.
Well, there were 2 guys arrested. There were 2 guys that have just been arrested at the beach for having a chainsaw fight. So
yeah.
Or they were walking around with chainsaws threatening people.
Do you guys know that Ontario is the America of Canada, according to the rest of Canada?
All right, well.
That's okay with me. But Alberta is our Texas, though.
Yeah.
But we have, it's not, how everyone is America is crazy and all this stuff. But at least the other provinces have been opening up and doing things normally, but then everyone's like, don't go to Ontario.
I mean, stay away from Quebec. I'm from Nova Scotia. I wanted to go out there this summer. That place is locked down. You cannot go there. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Nick, I wanted to ask you quickly before...
we only got 2 or 3 minutes because Michelle's waiting, so just go ahead.
We only have a few minutes. I just wanted to just throw some questions out at Nick, because I know you have a podcast. What is can you name it for us?
It's Third Rail with Nick Beaton.
Okay, and this is just like a singular podcast. It's just you. You have a couple of... Every once in a while, you have a guest on?
Yeah, I do random guest episodes, but on Monday, I release just me yelling at a microphone.
Okay. Now, quickly... Now, did you cringe at all a little bit when they talked about the Wii scandal and they just talked about financial numbers like 100,000 and they just seemed like very small compared to what American financial scandals are?
Yeah, I honestly haven't been following it that much, very peripherally. It is very small numbers, but the thing is, it's no one gets paid, and then he gives his mom $300,000. It's just he's the worst crook in the world. They're all crooks. He's just really bad at it. And it's Trudeau
as a politician. It almost legitimized him as a politician. The fact that we now know how crooked he is.
Yeah, at least he's. That's what I mean. It's so sad that he's that bad at being crooked. It's just do this part of it right at least, man. You're supposed to steal, but we're not supposed to catch you this easily.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's completed in Alberta. He's a bumper sticker. I did a golf club show, and with Sean LeComber, we looked, and on a bumper sticker there was a picture of a noose, but it was like a hanging, whatever you call that, whatever the hanging thing is, and it was we dare you to come to Alberta, Trudeau. It was like, we're going to lynch him. It was really weird.
Yeah, well, that's our Texas. Now, do you think is Trump going to get another 4 years?
Honestly, I think that would be really, I don't know. I mean, it's the same thing. Like in 2016, it would be easy to say there's no way this guy's going to get elected. So right now saying there's no way this guy's going to get reelected. But his poll numbers are way down justifiably, and I don't see how people can look past this. The thing with like an incumbent president is if the economy's good, usually they win. The economy's bad, and they don't really give a lot of leeway for the reasoning. Like even if they can say, hey, it's a pandemic, it wasn't totally your fault, it's still a pandemic, so you're fine.
I think if he didn't have the pandemic, I think he had a good shot of getting reelected. I really do.
Yeah. Catch me in February, really? I was like, this guy got it. He's going to get this again.
Kanye West, though. I want to know that.
Oh, Kanye West.
Yeah.
But Kanye West actually had said, didn't he? He was actually quoted saying the only reason he's running is to get Trump reelected. So
yeah.
But also, it's sort of like it's funny to me that there's so much against Trump, but also it's a lot of it's the millennials that have the lowest voter turnout rate, and it's just how organized they will actually be when Trump voters are these sort of like these sort of Midwest flyover states that they go out and actually vote. And I think after seeing how sort of Joe Biden stumbles around, I just kind of think that there's a very good chance that we could see 4 more years.
Well, the thing I think that happened specifically in 2016 is people said, don't even bother coming out. Trump doesn't have the chance. This is Hillary's to win.
Right.
And a lot of people stayed home because they were apathetic. And now people are like, that doesn't count anymore. Right. I do think people are waking up to that. Like, oh, no, you still have to go out and vote, especially in those states that matter. You know, California, New York, they're all going to vote for Biden because they are. Right. So Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, those places need to get out and vote if you care, you know.
Right. Well, I mean, I just hope that the young vote comes out, because traditionally they don't, because they're just more into tweeting and TikToking and other shit like that.
This is Anthony Jeselnik. That's right, Anthony Jeselnik. You're listening to Anything Goes with Darren Frost on XM Radio's Laugh Attack. That's right, Anthony Jeselnik.
Yes. How are you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Well, me and Dave are well, and Kathleen's a little tipsy.
I'm amazing.
I know. She texted me hours ago that she was drinking in the backyard. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
I was waiting for someone to message me and be like, we had to shut it down.
Yeah. Well,
you all know me. You know that I can function on alcohol.
Mm-hmm. I know you think you can function on alcohol.
There we go. There we go. So what you've missed so far is we've talked about her. She had her filler job on her mouth. We've talked about porn. We've talked about strippers, and she's been very defensive of strippers and their cause. She's
defensive. I'm supportive.
No, defensive.
A movement where women are making fucking money off of being sexualized. Finally.
Right.
Finally.
Well, okay. Their own sexuality is what you're proud about.
Yes.
Not even proud. I'm just saying that women are finally taking control and making money off of what they've been doing for free for so long. Like, OnlyFans is amazing because I'm like, yeah, you could you could send a booby picture to some dude that bought you 2 rum and cokes, or you could make him pay $50 a month to look at your boobs.
Well, I mean, to each their own. If somebody wants to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do what they want to do.
Michelle with your bow and
your little headband.
So what's been going on in the world of Michelle Shaughnessy these days?
Oh, absolutely nothing. I've been trapped at home for months.
Right. You released an album.
Yeah, because I know that. You released an album.
I released
in
an album,
COVID world.
It felt weird because I recorded it before COVID, obviously, but I really put off recording it because it felt weird to put it out, when the world was falling apart.
Why did it feel weird? Because I remember you saying that at one point, or I read a post about it. Is it just a self-conscious thing of just like?
I don't know. I just felt like there's so much more important stuff going on than my comedy album, and with all the protests and the riots, and people bringing to light all the cops that are killing minority. It just felt like such a sad time, and I just felt like there was way better things for people to be occupying their time financially and emotionally with.
That is so uncomedian of you. I mean that in the best way, just because usually comics are like, I always thought if Facebook was around on 9/11, there would still be comics going like, I know a lot of shit happened today, but we all need to laugh. Come on down to the comedy bar or wherever and forget about those Twin Towers. We got the Twin Towers of comedy going on.
Yeah, no, I totally get your point there, but I mean, we're in a situation where like nobody can, like at the time, clubs weren't open here, so nobody could even go out and laugh, you know? So I think I was so depressed in my head that I was like, comedy is dead, everything sucks, like, well, what is the point of this? Like, let's put my effort into doing the greater good, and, you know, but now clubs are slowly opening, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm back.
Negative and upsetting time, and like, yeah, I mean, people, of course, were like trying to be progressive and stuff, but it's also got to a point where people are like, okay, can we try just like being okay with laughing at something or trying something different? So I don't think it's appropriate at all.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like that now. Like, I just think that I like sat on it for like a good 3 months because I just felt like I didn't have a desire at that time. Like, I was so like shocked about everything.
I actually recorded an album in January. I released it at the end of February.
Okay.
I couldn't sit on it. And if I did, I would have definitely have done what you did. So for me, I didn't really promote it because in March, like you said, everything was just dropping. COVID, you know, all the riots. So this is the least I've ever done for an album. And now I'm slowly thinking, okay, now I'm going to act like it's a re-release because there's been enough time. And now I can kind of push it again. Because I felt weird too about, you know, people are yelling Black Lives Matter, but I'm like, yeah, but here's 45 minutes of me saying fuck, you know?
Yeah, no, I feel ya. And that's like kind of the thing too. Like, I didn't put out like a press release, or I didn't try to get like press for it or try to do, like, I just was like, release it, but I don't want to really, like, I'll make a few posts and that's about it, you know? And that's, I mean, I didn't even get hard copies made because, like, what's the point? Like, I don't know when it's going to be acceptable to sell merch after a show again, you know?
I sat on my album for 3 years because I didn't want to listen to it.
A lot of, you know what, I sat on my first album for about a year too, so... I feel ya.
The only reason I released my first album is because I knew a hack in Canada released an album and it was so bad. My attitude is like, my worst night is better than that guy's best night.
Yeah, I know. There's always, there's that moment too where you're sort of like, well, if they can release an album, why can't I release one?
Yeah, such a shitty,
I didn't even release my
answer.
first. Yeah, I released my first one like 2 years ago. So it's like I waited so long to even do an album at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Your album is a lot about plastic surgery or just like, and like women and having to, like, I recently got my lips done for the first time.
I love them. You look beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Finally, somebody says that. Most people, you'll say you got any kind of work done and they'll say, you don't need it. Why would you do that to yourself?
I know. People tell me that all the time. And I'm like, I don't need it because I do it. Like, you know, like if I've been doing this stuff since I was in like my 20s. So that's why I don't need it. Like,
Needs
it's strange.
It does make you feel better. And in a world where women are constantly told you have to look younger, you have to look beautiful, and then people are shocked when women get Botox or get lips done, when we're constantly being thrown pictures of women with giant lips and like bodies. So of course women are gonna do this.
Well, Photoshop has been such a horrible nightmare for anyone picking up a magazine, that because it's sort of like you look at a photo and it's just like, this is not a real representation of anyone. But I do think it was kind of like when Renee Zellweger got a whole bunch of work done. And I mean, I thought she looked beautiful before, and I couldn't believe how she looked afterwards. But then she won like a Golden Globe for playing Judy Garland. After.
Yeah, but there was a really big gap between her like surgery. And I think the thing for her, it was just because she had such defining, it's like when Jennifer Grey got her nose done. Like, it's because they changed what was so defining about them.
Yeah.
With Renee, it was her eyes, and with Jennifer, it was her nose, right? So it's not like
Jennifer Grey lost work because she got a nose job.
Yeah, exactly, because she wasn't recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
So people liked her.
That name though too, and she's still a great actress. So
yeah.
I think
if someone wants to get work done, I just hope they don't get it done because they think that will then make them happier. Like, if you want to get work done, that's fine. But I think if you're attaching too much happiness to that work, I think you might not be doing it for the right reason, because I don't think you're going to get the same result that you're probably looking for.
No,
I
I
might
agree
be
with
wrong.
you to a certain extent, but at the same time, it's like you do want to do it for happiness, or then why would you care, you know?
I know, but what I mean is they think that maybe some of their problems will be solved from it.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean? Like, they put too much in. Of course you're going to feel better about yourself. That's
Of
why
course,
you're going to
like,
get the
they
work
think-
done.
Yeah, they think like it's going to fix their life. They're going to like
Yes.
book everything, or they're going to
Yes.
get a man, or they're, for
Right.
sure. I totally
Yeah.
hear you on that one.
But I mean,
Yeah, and
for
then
sure.
it doesn't happen. That doesn't happen because that's you're chasing the unchaseable.
But Julie Chen, Julie Chen got her eyes fixed. Not eyes fixed, but she got
who?
She got her eyes less Asian. And Julie Chen from she from that show The Talk.
Big Brother. She hosts Big Brother.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, and she's also married to Les Moonves from who owns it's like a
Right, okay.
But she said that she got more work after her eyes were done, and it did help her career out. So
Listen, you guys, let me tell you something. Everyone that tells me that you can be who you are, I'm in the entertainment industry. I've lost weight, and I've been being booked way more. And I don't think that that's a coincidence. And everyone will say that's not why or anything, but I'm more appealing looking, and people will book me more. And it's the entertainment industry.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you that's not true, because your feelings are valid. But I also think you, like, I've known you for a long time, and right now you seem like the most confident I've ever known you as. So I also think that
100%.
makes you, people want to be around you, you know? So I think that probably has something to do with it too, is like the energy you're putting out there.
Yeah. Well, and also plastic surgery, like everyone says, it's just like trying to make yourself feel better. But as for somebody that's lost a lot of weight, I had a tummy tuck, not because because I had loose skin and
yes.
I have like,
you know,
look at these arms, but I just went to my doctor, and she's referred me to a plastic surgeon so I can get this removed because
I'm getting my arms done too in a couple months. But, like, that's the thing too. I totally get it, because I didn't even lose like a lot of weight, and I still had loose skin. Like, I got, you know, my tummy tuck done, liposuction and whatever, and I'm gonna get my arms lipoed. But so I totally get that. Like, and I think it's like a lot of people. I watch all those weight loss shows. A lot of people get really depressed because they lose all this weight, and then they're like, "Fuck! Like, I still don't like my body." So absolutely.
It's the whole thing that you still see the person that you were in the mirror when you look at it. It's hard to. I mean, that's why people still, after surgery, they still see themselves as the old version of themselves, and they can't get over that. I mean, that's just one of the things that I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own. Like, I like what I see when I look in the mirror now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I walk around naked all the time, and I would never have done that before, right? So, I mean, I don't have roommates now either, so that helps.
But we also don't know if that's also age, right? Like, we don't have a separate world where you're walking around without any work done at the same age. I think sometimes age also helps confidence.
Yeah, it's true.
I think you're right about that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But I think, like, I don't think, had I have not done it for me personally, that I would like look in the mirror and be like, oh, that's like a hot naked body, you know? So I see what you're saying, but
you were probably way more critical of yourself in your 20s, and then the longer you're on this earth, and the more you and that don't care, and you start to realize, oh no, a guy doesn't care that I have stretch marks. A guy doesn't care. He, you know, like, but that's when you're in your 20s, you're so young, and you're susceptible to like all of this like media and all this stuff of how you're supposed to look, which is why I think it's horrible to be a young woman right now.
Yeah.
It's worse than ever.
It is. Like, I'm not a young woman. Well, I mean, depends on your definition of young woman. But I got rid of Instagram. Like, I got out of it because it wasn't good for me mentally. Like, I found myself looking at these like fitness women, or like, you know, women who like make themselves look like a certain thing. And I was like, this is not, I don't want to be on here. So I couldn't imagine being like 15 or even 20 and like being bombarded with all that stuff.
Like, Dave and Darren, have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and thought, I gotta get rid of my 11s? Do you even know what 11s are?
No, but I'm looking at this now.
But are you talking about the lines on your head?
These lines.
Yeah. I knew what they were.
But men don't look in the mirror and are like, I gotta get rid of my 11s. I gotta do this and that. It's just not something that straight men do.
Some do, yeah, some do, but it's rare.
It's very rare. But almost every woman knows what 11s are.
Yes.
You can ask a man and they won't know what 11s are. But every single woman, even in her 20s, knows what 11s are. And that's the problem.
But also, I've never been in that much of a position where I felt like I was getting something solely on my looks, either.
You never have, Dave.
Well, yeah, I know that. So that's why I'm just saying that it's sort of like, I mean, I'm looking at myself now in this shitty lighting. I'm like, well, maybe I could get some work done. But I mean, I also don't feel like it's ever been the deciding factor on whether I get a gig or not.
But Dave, look at King of Queens. Look at that Jim Belushi sitcom. It's all these overweight men, and they have these hot, fucking skinny, thin wives. You never see even just a normal-looking woman. You never see just that, or you never see Remember the overweight woman on Young and the Restless that had that hot husband? And it was crazy. People still couldn't accept it.
People went insane.
Yeah, you see like Jim Belushi, you see Kevin James, and they all got these tiny little wives, and everyone's like, oh yeah, he deserves that.
No, that used to make me so angry when I was heavy, and I would see like couples like that in public. I used to get like angry.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd be like, come on.
But usually women look for something beyond looks when they're in a man. And
it's funny. We look for funny men.
Right.
Because that's why male comics get laid.
Exactly.
It's for men, it's usually the first thing they look at. And I suppose it's for women, it's the first thing that opens the door. But then for women, it's usually they want more than just, I mean, how often do women get trophy husbands? Like, does that happen very often?
What do you mean? Like a male model? Or do you mean
like a male model, or what a guy would be accused of getting a trophy wife?
I think some women go through that when they're older. I mean, I'm sure there are some younger women that do that, but I think that's a thing that you see in like women who've already been married. They already did that whole for love thing. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Madonna dated.
Yeah.
Britney Spears dated a younger man, and people went nuts.
I think Joan Collins? That's the actress. Yeah, she was with some guy that was like 30, 40 years younger than her too.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Still, it's not changed.
But all those women are famous, so it's sort of like, I mean, I don't know if a guy would be going out with just a regular woman who was Madonna's age and looked like Madonna.
But an older woman is a
I don't know. Some guys have a fetish for that.
Yeah.
That's me. They're like, you're an old lady. Thanks a lot. Like, I appreciate that. I am an old lady. Now, fuck off. Right? But it's true. It's this weird fantasy. But when a woman acts on this fantasy, it's bad. But if a man is in his 60s and he's dating someone in her late 20s, it's normal. He's rich. He's a sugar daddy. It's okay. But not if a woman does that.
But he also said that he's rich and a sugar daddy. So it's like, those are two of the things that are probably keeping that one woman there.
But you could be a really wealthy woman
in
her 60s and try to date a man in his 20s, and you are a pariah.
And I will be right there. I will be still on board.
Dave, you're not in your 20s.
Yeah, I know that. But what's funny is that
date like a 90-year-old.
Dave's gonna now get his 11s fixed to date a 60-year-old broad.
Yeah.
Amazing.
What have you been doing during quarantine that's not have to do with anything, but just like, what have you been doing to occupy your time?
We put a gym in the basement. So I've been doing a lot of that because I don't know. I don't think I'll go back to the gym ever or for a long time at least. Plus, I can't believe how much money I'm saving just by doing that. So we just invested in that. So I have like a workout area and then just getting stuff around the house done. Like painting, fixing walls, like starting to make plans to like finish the basement even more. Like a lot of house stuff. Some writing, but not as much.
You made a very, very funny video with Stefan, though.
Yes, we got such a good reaction to that video. We're gonna make some more for sure. We have other stuff written, but we got such a good reaction to that video.
Yeah.
And that's like, I mean, I don't know. We kind of work well in that sense when I'm just really mean to him. People seem to really like that.
You think you're being more creative?
I think I'm being creative in different ways. Like before my brain was just so stand up. And I was like on a big tour when this happened that got like shut down and we rescheduled I was opening for Jerry D for like a bunch of dates and we had to stop. And then now they're rescheduled and I don't think we're even going to be able to go through with the rescheduled dates. So I think in my mind, I was like, okay, I don't want to be in this situation. What if this happens again in 7 years? I don't want to be like, okay, I have nothing else to fall back on. So I've been doing a lot more like acting stuff, auditions. Like I've been working on like more writing, just trying to do more creative things that aren't just stand up, because I felt, and I'm sure all of you did, really vulnerable when all of a sudden they were like, oh, by the way, live performance is done, you know?
Well,
so I'm just trying to do anything. You what?
Entertainment's going to be the last thing that really comes back.
Yeah, I mean, like some film and stuff is back already, but in terms of like stand up, it's like I did Absolute the day it opened. I did Comedy Bar this weekend. They just opened. Comedy Bar was fun. Like, it's just so different. It's so different. Like Absolute, like because you're so close to the audience, they have to have like plexiglass. So you're performing, but so it's like glass, because if they didn't have that, then we would have to wear masks.
Whoa.
Well, at Comedy Bar, they don't have that because the stage is so big. So they just put you, so you're exactly 16 feet away from the front row. And it was like not fun for me at Absolute. And that was like my Absolute Toronto was like my favorite club ever. And you can't see the audience because of all the lights. All you see is 3 giant reflections of yourself.
I know.
So it's like, I know.
I was gonna ask you, because I was there on Saturday, and yeah, you were doing a set that night, and you mentioned the reflections, and I'm just like I'm hosting there this weekend, and I'm curious how it will actually be, because when I first got there, it was sort of like.
It
didn't feel good. It didn't feel fun. It didn't.
No, it's not fun. It's not fun, and I wanted to love it. Like I've missed that club so much, and I wanted to love it. Like as soon as they were open, I was like, I'm coming in. But it's not fun. Like I'm sure it's fine for the audience, but as a comic, like I felt like it just wasn't fun, and I couldn't imagine hosting. I'm sorry, Dave. Like I don't want to jinx you, but because you can't see the audience to talk to them. Right. So when I host, that's all I do is talk to them. Like I don't really do material. And so I'm not even going to take a headline right now. I don't want it. I mean, I'll drop in for spots, but I don't want the pressure of being like, I am getting paid because I'm not okay up there right now. It just did not feel okay.
It almost felt like as if someone just woke up. It's almost like you woke up one morning and someone just said, oh, by the way, all comedy has to be clean from now on. And you'd be like, well, that doesn't sound very fun. I don't know if I want to do that.
I mean, that analogy might work for you. Like, I don't personally, I think it's much worse than that. Like I don't know. I think you could still have fun doing clean comedy. I know I sound like I'm nervous saying that, but like.
I'm not saying the clean thing has to do anything to do with it. I'm just more the idea that all these restrictions are put on a performance now.
I know that you just can't connect with the audience the way that we're used to, you know? So it's like, I'd rather just do online stuff, to be honest with you, until I wrap my head around it.
Have you done drive-in shows, like a drive-in theater show?
No, I've done some outdoor shows on like rooftop patios and things like that, and they've been really fun. But I haven't done the drive-in thing. Nobody's asked me to, so.
Like
really?
Clubs, and they're just lower capacity, but they're the same.
Honestly, I've been really tempted. Like I was talking to my husband about it, and I was like, do I go back on the road? Like, do I go and play the out west clubs? Like, what do I do?
To be honest, but clubs are like it is this. It's not the same, but it's like not. We don't have plexiglass. We don't have to wear masks. It's very. Yeah. It's just lower capacity, but.
Well, we're lower capacity too. Like you can only have 50 people in the club. Yeah. So it's like.
Well, it's different here. Like at the House of Comedy in BC, I did that in June, and it was like the biggest crowd we had was 108 people, and it's amazing. It's huge. That space is huge. Everybody could be spaced out, but I also did shows for 12. So, but people were so gung ho to come out at first out here, and then there were a few little glitches, and then the crowds got smaller. But like they talked about class out here, but it never happened.
Well, honestly, like I don't know. Have you performed anywhere, Darren? Since
I have not headlined since I taped my album the second week of January. I did a couple more shows after that, hosting for some friends, and then I have dates in September to headline in Ottawa. That's 8 months. That's 8. I've never. The longest stretch I've done in the 30 years I've been doing comedy is maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah. Like I was also on my honeymoon, like at the beginning of March. Like we got back like 2 days before they were like, hey, everybody that's been away has to quarantine and stuff. Like we got back just in time to, not be like clusterfuck at the airport. But I hadn't done comedy since the last week of February, and it was like the first few months I was so depressed. Like, I was like, I don't know when this is going to end. Like, am I ever going to be okay? And then after that, I was like, why don't I just start doing things, you know? Like, I mean, I think it's different. You have kids, right? So it's like you can kind of like, I guess
go
you
on that
kind of
mode.
have to act like everything's okay, at
Yes.
least, right? So, but I had no routine anymore.
When it first
Going to bed
started,
at like 8:30.
when it first started, the thing that was cool is like nobody else was doing it, so it's like everybody was on forced break.
Yeah.
So no one was getting ahead. No one was doing more shows. Like everybody was on forced break.
Just so you know. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, like everybody can answer this because we're all comics and we've all been in relationships, and you know, and you can't help but put your own personal life into your act and what you do. I was just watching I watched the first 2 parts of the Amy Schumer documentary last night, and it just showed, there was one part where it just shows her and her husband getting into this big fight about like she was talking about him in her act, and have you ever had issues with that? Because
Not with Stefan. Like you see my newer stuff. It's all like I'm so mean to him, and like he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He encourages it. Like he really does not. Yeah, I mean his mother hates it, but he does not care at all. Like he thinks it's hilarious.
Do you have old boyfriend stuff that you've put into that you still do now?
No, honestly, I don't know. I don't think I really do any old stuff anymore. Like I don't know. I just have. Yeah, I think once I got in a different kind of life situation, I hated doing my old stuff. I hated doing comedy. I hated my old acts. And I was like, I need to write a whole new headline or I'm going to fucking hate this so much.
Yeah.
So I just spent like a bunch of time just doing that. And now I don't really have anything from my old stuff in rotation anymore. I mean, who knows? Who knows now?
Sometimes with new relationships, you have to always remind the person that it's not always about them. Sometimes it's a collection of people that are all put into one Voltron, you know? It's like, you know, it's like...
Yeah, I did that a bit at the beginning, but now it's just all him.
Yeah.
They have to be okay with it. If you're going to date a comic, you have to be okay with being in an act.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if he did it to me, all hell would break loose, but...
The worst was when you'd meet a guy at a bar and they find out you're a comedian and they say, well, don't put me in your act. I'm like, well, don't think that you've made that much of an impression on me that I'm going to remember you after this. Like, it was...
Yeah.
I always think it's good when you don't end up in the act, because then it's sort of like, well, you haven't done anything to drive me fucking crazy, so...
That's true. That's a really good point. Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's been relationships where I'm like, you know, when you really love the other person, but you're also like, you haven't given me any comedy material. Like, you've been a reasonably cool person for this entire time we've been together, so...
We're breaking out. I need to
I know, yeah. Do something stupid, so yeah.
Hello, this is Bobcat Goldthwait. I'm not dead, and you're listening to Anything Goes with Darren, Dave, Kathleen on XM Radio's Laugh Attack.
Okay, we're done.
For like 20 minutes.
Yeah, we're done. So that's good. That was exactly an hour and like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you want to bring anything else up? Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No.
No.
I just have to pee.
All right, go pee. All right, we're done.
Hey, you should put that on your OnlyFans. Yeah, that's what we want to see on your OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
How much would that cost? How much would
$100.
It's $50 a month, and then I get tips on top of it.
Oh, okay, all right. But how
I'll
much?
look into that.
$50.
Oh, okay. I think you could charge. I think you could get more for peeing than that.
You want like just my face, or you want full body peeing?
I don't want any of it, but I just.
Okay. Goodbye.